Players in that trial tell ABC News the way they've been treated is anything but fair. Here's ABC's Matt Gutman.
The criminal justice system has let us down at every turn. And yesterday was the final letdown. And that's why we're here, because there's nobody left to stand up for us.
Think real long and hard before you're a witness in a case, because no one protects you. And it's very, very sad.
For the first time, some of the key players in the Karen Read trial sitting down for an exclusive interview. John O'Keefe's friend, Jennifer McCabe, and her husband, Matt, former Boston Police Sergeant Brian Albert, and his wife, Nicole, and his brother, Chris Albert. All five of them pulled into the center of this high-profile case and now speaking out.
And I think the reason we all stayed quiet is because we were just witnesses. This is a thing that we had nothing to do with.
Where's Higgins? It's a, let me see. Oh, wait, Whiskey, do you see Higgins? I don't see him. Do you see him? I don't see him.
Civic duty, came and told the truth, and that's it.
Free Karen Read!
It's the case that has captivated the country and divided a town. Karen Read, accused of killing her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, hitting him with her SUV and leaving him to die in a blizzard.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Now, after a second trial, a jury acquitting her of the most serious charges, second-degree murder and manslaughter. And hundreds of supporters in pink, Karen Read's favorite color, cheering as the verdict came down yesterday.
I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters.
People turn this thing into a tailgate party, it looked like.
You think?
Some days. Board games, cornhole.
So what kind of party did you have at your house at 34 Fairview on the 9th of January 29th? Huh? What kind of party did you have? I mean, Peggy O'Keefe seems to know what kind of parties go on 34 Fairview. And you left him there by himself? Everybody seems to know what reputation is at 34 Fairview Road, right? I mean, even Bukaki put it on his report. Remember the report between Higgins, Bukaki, and Proctor asking pretty indecent questions?
This is a guy that was murdered, and it's atrocious.
First of all, he's not a guy that was murdered. He's a Boston police officer, one with a master's degree in criminal justice. Do you have one? Do you?
That family.
While the prosecutors blamed Read for O'Keefe's death, the defense said this group of family members framed Read to cover up what really happened that night. Ever since, their lives becoming open season for endless conspiracy theories.
What they've done is they've dehumanized us to the sense where we're not real people. We're almost like characters.
Higgins Tasmanian. Jesus.
You'd have to have multiple cops on two different police departments, multiple civilians, the medical examiner, firemen, EMTs, you name it. That's how preposterous and silly this is. And great question. I don't understand how people bought this.
Brian Albert says he and Nicole only found out about John's death when Jen McCabe, who is Nicole's sister, barged into their bedroom.
She was just upset, and I immediately thought something had happened to one of her children.
Newsflash, she didn't barge anywhere. Her Apple Watch shows that she didn't even go upstairs. So there's no barging anywhere upstairs, okay?
Children are one of my children, because why else is she in my bedroom at 6:30 in the morning right now?
Well, I don't know.
True.
Why don't you ask Brian? I mean, was she ever? I mean, you know, you hear things, right?
30 to 50 people. You'd have to have multiple cops on two different police departments.
Actually, closer to like 39, I counted, but you know, I could be wrong. I mean, who am I anyways, right? Scooby-Doo.
Multiple civilians, the medical examiner, firemen, EMTs, you name it. That's how preposterous and silly this is. And great question. I don't understand how people bought this.
Brian Albert says he and Nicole only found out about John's death when Jen McCabe, who is Nicole's sister, barged into their bedroom.
She was
No. So Kaylee called Jen because Karen didn't know how to get a hold of Jen. So it was Kaylee who called at 4:53 in the morning. And then the first call after that was to Julie Albert. But then the following call after that was to Nicole Albert. Now, where's Julie Albert? Now that I notice. Wait, oh yeah, where is she? Whiskey. Oh, no. Julie Albert is not there.
just
Upset.
upset, and I immediately thought something had happened to one of her children or one of my children, because why else is she in my bedroom at 6:30 in the morning right now?
And what did she tell you?
She said, John's out front. I think John's dead out front. I said, what the are you talking about, Jen? And I'm like, who? I didn't know.
You still didn't piece it
I
together.
didn't understand what she was talking about, because
That's
why would John
bad
be out front
argument.
of my house?
So massively confusing. There are police officers, EMTs on your front lawn. You're an officer. Why don't you just go outside and investigate or take a look?
I'm not a Canton police officer.
No,
I'm a Boston
police.
police officer.
Can you believe it? Would you believe it?
I was just woken up out of a cold sleep from hanging out the night before. By the time I came downstairs, the police were already in my house. John was already gone. There was nobody to save.
Look
I would
at
have taken a
Jen's
bullet
face.
for
Oh
John
my God.
O'Keefe because he was a fellow cop. That's the most ridiculous
Wait,
question that
wait.
people.
Are they like
John was
saying,
already
yeah, he's
gone.
doing a great job.
There was nobody to save. I would have taken a bullet for John O'Keefe because he was a fellow cop. That's the most ridiculous question that people always ask.
And
It
look
made
at it,
zero sense. What am I supposed to do? Run out front in my underwear and start running yellow tape around the fire hydrant?
Over the course of the night, Reed called and texted John 52 times. She then called.
How many times did Jen call John O'Keefe's phone? Did you take a look at that, Matt? I mean, you're sitting there asking questions, right? Are you intimidated too? I mean, he can be scary, but I think you can handle it, right? Why didn't you ask? How many times did you call John O'Keefe, Jen? How many calls were deleted from your phone? Why didn't you ask him?
Jen asking for help to find John. Karen previously telling me she and John had gotten into an argument that night. Would you say that you were angry with John that night?
Yes.
Could you have been angry enough and slightly drunk because he had annoyed you that in the fit of rage you just backed up and
Never.
No.
Would
not to
never
try to kill him, but try to
to tap him with my
Really?
6,000-pound full-size SUV, to hit John's body with my car. No.
I spoke with a juror tonight who told me she believes a collision did not occur.
Overall, a lot of the evidence had caused reasonable doubt, and that was enough for us not to convict.
A little after 6 a.m., Karen found John's body in the snow. Jen called 911.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a man passed out in the snow.
He's not a man, Jen. He's not a man passed out in the snow, okay? He was a Boston police officer. You know, John, your friend, the one you loved.
Hello?
But what raised eyebrows at Reed's trial was a defense theory about a Google search
Here
Jen had
we
made
go.
about how long it takes to die in the cold. The defense claiming she searched it before O'Keefe's body was found. So
did.
much has been made about that Google search that morning. Was it at 6 a.m. or was it at 6:27 a.m.? How long to die in the cold? What's your answer?
She asked me to do it at outside of Fairview at
Why are
6:20,
you
whatever it
looking
was.
serious?
Doesn't matter how much I say about it, people will not believe it.
The
Here
group
we go.
also hoped
I'm gonna slow it down. Let's slow it down. Are we gonna be able to do that? Let's see if we can slow it down a little. And we can't. We can't. Let's see if we
to
catch
clear
it.
up rumors regarding the Alberts' dog, Chloe, who had been rehomed after the incident. That if
Let's see who Brian Albert stares down like death when Matt asks about that Google search.
defense claimed the dog was involved in O'Keefe's death.
Those wounds were inflicted as the result of a dog attack. Those marks are from teeth.
They've known for 2 years where Chloe is. The state
You look really
So if
angry.
they wanted to take DNA evidence from Chloe the dog and match it to possible DNA evidence on
Right.
John O'Keefe, they could have matched it.
Absolutely.
But now with the trial behind them, they say they're still faced with threats against them and their families, but hope to continue calling this community their home.
You get down, you get depressed, and it's like, but this is the town we like grew up in. Like, we didn't do anything wrong.
You started it because he went to DNA Pizza with his nephew to buy 2 slices of pizza from you. And you invited him to the waterfall. And he asked you, is Kevin Albert going to be there? Remember? Remember? What are the odds that he was making sure that Kevin Albert was not there? Have you thought about that? Has anybody thought about that? Why would it? Is Kevin Albert going to be there? Why did he want to make sure that Kevin Albert was going to be there or not? Was it because he wanted to see Kevin Albert or because he didn't want to see Kevin Albert? Which one was it, Chris? You started it. You invited him over. You sold him and his nephew his last 2 pieces of pizza.
We all contributed to our town. We love our
Do not even dare look that way.
town. Why should we have to go anywhere?
Our thanks to Matt.
No,
You
thanks
have to
to Matt.
have
You caught the interview.
multiple
but I'm
cops on
gonna
2
fix
different police
it.
departments.
I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna find the other one because this doesn't end just there. It doesn't end there. First of all, where is Higgins? Where is Higgins in that interview? Where is he sitting in that interview?
Cole and his
Why
brother,
is he
Chris
not
Albert,
there? If
And
you are
it's
all
very
advocating and
It
talking
was a
because
final letdown.
nobody's
And that's why
up
we're
there
here,
to
because
defend you.
there's nobody left to stand
That's
up
why
for
we're
us.
here.
think real
Nobody's
long and
left
hard
to
before
stand
you're a
up for
witness
us.
in a case.
Where's Higgins? Where's Julie Albert? Where are those 2? So where are they? Why are they not there? Huh? Why? I want to know why. I'm going to see if we can see this one real quick. Because, you know, where else Higgins was MIA from? Let's talk about that one. He was MIA from this one. And he wasn't mentioned. I'm starting to think that nobody likes Higgins. I mean, they didn't include him, right? Didn't include him on the ABC interview. I mean, he was a witness too, right? So he has every right to be at that interview and be a part of it because he's also a witness. So why was he missing from that interview?
Of its kind in my dozen years as Norfolk District Attorney.
Here we go. We're going to break Rule 3.8, Massachusetts. Okay? Let's break it.
Harassment of witnesses in the murder prosecution of Karen Reed is absolutely baseless. It should be an outrage to any decent person, and it needs to stop.
It needs to stop.
Innuendo is not evidence. False narratives are not evidence.
Neither is your speech.
However, what evidence does show is that John O'Keefe never entered the home at 34 Fairview Road.
Well, how do you know
the
that?
night he died. Location.
How do you know
from his
that?
phone?
By the time that you actually made that statement, how do you know that, Mr. M? Huh? Mr. M&M? How do you know that?
Covered from the lawn beneath his body when he was transported to the hospital shows that his phone did not enter that home. 11 people have given statements that they did not see John O'Keefe enter the home
A
at 34
fantastic
Fairview
11.
that
Well,
night.
let's just believe him.
0 people
I mean, they're your neighbors, right?
have said that they saw him enter the home.
Right.
0. No one.
Mm.
Some have, without any evidence.
No. Let's back up. First of all, there was a Yukon Denali that was parked in the middle lane, 34 Fairview at that time. That Yukon Denali, go ahead and Google the height of that vehicle, okay? And mind you, don't even start with the length. But if you Google the length and the height, you will tell that it's nearly 6 feet 5 inches. Do you know how tall John was? He wasn't even 6'2", shy of 6'2". Just a little tiny tad bit shy of 6'2". So anybody who would have walked on a brisk walk towards anywhere in that house on this side of the Yukon, nobody that was behind the Yukon or coming over from Cedar Crest and Fairview would have seen anything that moved at that pace on the other side of that 6 foot 5 inches tall Yukon Denali. Okay?
Pointed to 18-year-old Colin Albert, a nephew of the homeowner, and accused him of attacking John O'Keefe as he entered the home. But phone evidence shows O'Keefe never entered the home at all.
Well, the evidence that Ian Whipped says that he was walking westerly towards the house, and even though he's lying about the times, because he is, okay, he is, I assume my liabilities, that's my opinion, so he is, at 12:21:10, John was on a brisk walk, walking westerly towards 34 Fairview. Okay?
Testimony from witnesses tell us that 18-year-old Colin Albert
He was
had
there.
left his uncle's home before John O'Keefe
No, he didn't.
and Karen Reed had arrived outside the residence.
No, he didn't. At 12:30, he was calling Tom Betty's daughter, asking for a ride. And guess what? Her dad said, no, you're not going anywhere.
There was no fight inside that home.
And how do you know that? Were you there? I mean, were you invited to the Blizzard party? Were you there, Mr. Eminem? I wasn't sure you were there. I'm just asking questions here.
John O'Keefe did not enter the home. Colin Albert, the young man being vilified, was not present when Reed's vehicle.
Being vilified? Yo, advantage boys. Yo, hey, pull up. He's being vilified? I mean, you guys are hysterical.
And John O'Keefe arrived on the street. This is a false narrative. Colin Albert didn't commit murder. Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Albert. These people were not part of a conspiracy. And
so, wait. So you singled out Colin Albert didn't commit murder, and then you paused and you said Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe. I gotta go back there. Wait.
These people were not part of a conspiracy and certainly did not commit Albert. These people, Jennifer McCabe. Colin Albert didn't commit murder. Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe, and Brian Albert. These people were not part.
What? No. What happened there? And what? What happened with those three? So we already established that you just said Colin Albert did not commit murder, right? And then you said Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe, Brian Albert. What? Why didn't you finish that sentence?
Out of a conspiracy and certainly did not commit murder or any crime that night.
No, you did.
They have been forthcoming with authority, providing statements, and have not engaged in any cover-up. They are not suspects in any crime. They are merely witnesses in the case. To have them accused of murder is outrageous. To have them harassed and intimidated based on false narratives and accusations is wrong.
No.
They are witnesses doing what our justice system asks of them.
Sure.
The autopsy of John O'Keefe was conducted by a forensic pathologist from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner.
Yep. Looks like he was beaten down by Mike Tyson.
That left John helpless in the cold were not a result of a fight.
Right.
She further found that the line of abrasions on his arm was consistent with blunt trauma, not an animal attack.
Right.
A grand jury of everyday citizens heard the documented evidence and testimony before making a decision. The subject of that murder indictment enjoys the constitutional presumption of innocence. Why should the witnesses who have committed no crime be afforded less by members of the community? They should not be harassed for telling the government what they heard or saw. I'm asking the Canton community and everyone who feels invested in this case to hear all the actual evidence at trial before assigning guilt to people who have done nothing wrong. And certainly before taking it upon yourself to harass citizens who evidence shows have done nothing in this matter but come forward and bear witness. We try people in the court and not on the internet for a reason. The internet has no rules of evidence. The internet has no punishment for perjury. And the internet does not know all the facts. Conspiracy theories are not evidence. The idea that multiple police department, EMTs, fire personnel, the medical examiner, and prosecuting agencies are joined in or taken in by a vast conspiracy should be seen for what it is, completely contrary to the evidence and a desperate attempt to reassign guilt. Michael Proctor, the state police trooper, being accused of planting evidence outside 34 Fairview Road, was never at Fairview Road on the day of the incident. Proctor and his state police partner traveled together the entire day while other officers were processing 34 Fairview. Trooper Proctor was not there and did not plant evidence at 34 Fairview Road. In addition to having no opportunity to plant the evidence, as has been suggested, Proctor would have no motive to do so. Trooper Proctor had no close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation. And
You're wrong. You're wrong. You are so wrong. Like, what do you do now? Like, after you do this, what do you do now? Like, how do you live with yourself? 15, 14 times. Julie and Chris Albert and their kids and had been at their pool. Did you like get the memo? And a question that I have, where's Higgins? Why haven't you mentioned HiggieBear? So where's Higgins? Is Higgins, you're leaving him out for a reason? I mean, he is the only federal agent, right? Among all these cheap Canton cops and whatever. Boston police officers without criminal justice master's degrees. So why did you leave Higgins out, Eminem? Huh?
had no conflict.
Right.
He had no reason to step out of this investigation. Every suggestion to the contrary is a lie.
So you're saying you're
seen
lying
for what it is and not used as a pretext to attack and harass others. What's happening to the witnesses, some with no actual involvement in the case, is wrong.
Where's Higgins?
It is contrary to the American values of fairness and the constitutional value of a fair trial. It needs to stop now.
It needs to stop now.
I'm releasing this recorded statement rather than holding a news conference because my remarks need to be so narrowly tailored to the issue at hand while the prosecution is pending.
You know what happens when you read things that have not been drafted or put together by you, that you have no idea where you're going. You lose your train of thought. You didn't redact it yourself. So you have no idea what words or what those paragraphs actually contain. You are clueless, right? So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice in the future. You know, I wouldn't make a ridicule of myself. And also, you should have checked Rule 3.8, the same rule that one of your DAs is pointing out when they're talking to Rafferty on a memo. That rule says that a prosecutor in a criminal case shall refrain from prosecuting where the prosecutor lacks a good faith belief that probable cause to support the charge exists, and refrain from threatening to prosecute a charge where the prosecutor lacks a good faith belief that a probable cause supports the charge or exists or can be developed through subsequent investigation. And we're going to get it specifically to the matter at hand. Except for statements that are necessary to inform the public of the nature and extent of the prosecutor's action and that serve a legitimate law enforcement purpose, you should have had refrain yourself from making any comments or reading anybody's poem put together on behalf of the Fantastic 11, which, ironically, it doesn't include Higgins. Would you believe it? It doesn't include Higgins. So, I don't know, HiggieBear. I don't know, but I don't think you did it. And I'm going to die on that hill. I don't think you did it, HiggieBear. I don't think you did it. Thank you, everybody.